Today we are going to study chapter 6, tissues. So in our previous topic we studied about cells. Cells are the fundamental unit of life. So cell makes the organism. Now we are going to study about tissues. So in today's topic, tissues, we are going to cover few subtopic like amoeba. Cells come from pre-existing cell, muscle movement, nerve cells, blood carrying oxygen, plant cells like xylem and phloem. Now first let us study about amoeba. Here you can see in the picture, children, amoeba. Amoeba has finger-like structures. These finger-like structures which you see, they are called as pseudopodia, right? Then we see cell membrane which covers the body of amoeba. Then we see a liquid filled in the cell membrane. This liquid is called as cytoplasm, right? Then we see a contractile vacuole, nucleus and a food vacuole. Now amoeba is called as unicellular organism because it is made up of single cell, right? Then what are the functions performed by this single cell is it performs the first function, that is movement. The movement is carried out by pseudopodia. Then how does the food intake occurs? Food intake occurs by engulfing the food particles by a process called as phagocytosis. Then how is this exchange of gases occurring? Exchange of gases, that is taking in of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide, it occurs through cell membrane. In the process of excretion, it occurs through its body called as cell membrane. Now let us see the 3D model of amoeba. Now here in the 3D model of amoeba, that we can see that this is amoeba, right? Now amoeba, here you can see the amoeba is approaching the food particle. This food particle you can see, I will show you here with different color. Let us take red. Then this one, this yellow color structure which you are seeing, that is the food which amoeba is approaching towards the food. Okay, so here the amoeba approaches the food particle, right? As it approaches the food particle, it tries to engulf the food particle. Now how does it engulf the food particle? By surrounding itself with finger-like structures called as pseudopodia. That process is called as ingestion. So the process by which food particle is engulfed, this process is called as ingestion. And this ingestion, after the ingestion, the food particles enter the body of amoeba, and now it is called as food vacuole. Now the food vacuole, you will see that in food, as soon as the food vacuole is formed in the body of amoeba, the food get digested, the digestive enzymes, and after digestion the food get assimilated, and after assimilation the food is ejected outside the body of amoeba. So food is getting removed from the body of amoeba. So this ejection occurs through the cell membrane. You can see here the ejection occur to the cell membrane. Then the next topic which we are going to study is the cells are formed from pre-existing cell. Means the cells which are formed, that is new cells which are formed, they are formed from the pre-existing cell. Let us see how these cells are formed from the pre-existing cell. Now we have studied about cell theory in our previous class. It states that all the living organisms are made up of cells, right? And these cells are giving rise to new cells, and this is formed from the pre-existing cell, right? Then how does this new cell is formed from the pre-existing cell? Is through a process called as cell division. We have two processes called as mitosis and meiosis. Now what happens during mitosis is one cell divide and give rise to two identical daughter cells, and this process is used for growth of an organism and body repair. Then next process, that is meiosis, it occurs for process called reproduction. Means it occurs in the gametes. So it helps in formation of new organisms, that is producing new organism or giving birth to new organism. So in this process, one cell give rise to 4 non-identical daughter cells. So here we will see the 3D model of how the organism, another new organism. So we have studied about, so let us see how does a cell give rise to new cell. Now you can see in the screen, children, this is a single cell. Now here this single cell is nothing but zygote. This zygote is formed after fertilization. So this zygote multiplies many a times to form a group of cells. This group of cells is called as tissue. Now these tissues, they undergoes a process called as differentiation, where each group of cell is going to perform a specific function and form a specific organ. So after the formation of tissues, you see formation of organs, and organ system. Okay, so you see the tissues give rise to organs and organ system, and later on an organism is formed. So here you can see an example in multicellular organism. Now let us see an same example with plants. Now here you can see in plants how the division of cells occur. So this is a plant cell. Right? This is a plant cell. Now you have studied about plant cell and animal cell in our previous chapter. Here plant cell. Now one cell, you can say, as I said, zygote in humans. In the same way, seed is a single cell in plant. The seed, when it reaches soil and when favorable conditions come, this seed goes and germinate and give rise to different parts of the plant. Here we can say parts as organs of the plant, right? So you will see that from the seed a small tube comes out, that is, you can say, root, and that root grows towards the soil, and from the upper part of the seed arises a plumule, and that grows into shoot, and shoot develops into leaves and all that. In this way you see that in plants as well, an organism is a plant whole body is formed from a single cell called as seed. This was about cell giving rise to new cells. Next, let us see the third topic. What was the third topic? Just I said amoeba. And second was cells formed from the existing cell. And third topic is muscle movement. Now, let us see muscles. Here we see muscles. You can see in the picture types of muscle cells. Here types of muscle cells. Just select some color here. Types of muscle cells. We have three types of muscle cells: skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, and smooth muscle. Let's first talk about what do you mean by a muscle cell. Muscle cell are nothing but these are the specialized cells that contract and relax. When muscle cells contract and relax, they cause movement of the body or movement of that particular organs. Here we have three types of muscles: skeletal muscles and smooth muscles and cardiac muscles. Skeletal muscles, they attach to the bones. Skeletal muscles attach to the bone and enable the voluntary movements. As smooth muscles, they attach to the internal organs and helps in involuntary movement. Cardiac muscles make up the heart, which is responsible for pumping of the blood. Now let us see the model of are responsible for movement. Yes. Here you can see on the screen, children.
A group of stellar cells working together.
Here you can see a cell. This cell, muscle cell. This cell divides, a process is cell division, and forms a group of cells. This group of cell is called as tissue. Here it is given the definition of tissue. Group of cells that are similar in structure, function, together to achieve a particular function forms a tissue. So a cell divides many a times to form a tissue, and that tissue forms an organ. Here the organ is heart. It is a muscular organ which helps in pumping of blood. Okay. Then let us go back to another topic. Let's go back to another topic. After muscle movement,